Hey YouTube, Joe here again. I'm going to do another dehydrating video today. What we have here now is some boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Have about 3.3 pounds, which works out to about 1.5 kilograms. I had taken the scale, set it up to take into account the weight of the bowl and put the chicken in so I can weigh it. After it's dehydrated, I'll do the same thing, weigh it again, see what the weight difference is. It's quite a bit, trust me. What we're going to do is take this chicken and we're going to cut it up into small cubes, small little pieces. It's going to go into a pot of boiling water. I'm going to cook it up in that. What I used to do would be fry it up in a fry pan and then take it to the sink and drain it under hot water repeatedly to remove fat. But what we're going to do now, instead of putting it in the fry pan, we're going to actually boil it in water. That'll really help remove all the fat. Then we'll drain it, and then we'll rinse it again in boiling water. And we can load up our Salton food dehydrator. Now, this is going to take a few minutes to cut this all up. It's still partially frozen. I do that because it's easier to cut. But I'm not going to make you watch me do all of this. So what I'm going to do is pause the camera and come back when we're a little bit further along in the process and start recording again. Okay, so here we go. We've got most of it all cut up into little tiny cubes, roughly a centimeter by a centimeter. Working on the last piece here now. What I've been doing is cutting off any little pieces of fat off it as I go. There's not much fat on it, but any fat that I do find, just cut her off. We don't need it. Fat goes bad, it goes rancid. Same reason we don't cook it in oil as we're cooking it up. So the leaner you can get this, the more fat you can eliminate, the better your dehydrating results will be. Just bear with me for another moment here. Couple more cuts. Now on the stove behind me, I've got a pot of water here. Burner's on high, so it's bringing that to a boil. And I also have a kettle turned on to get some more water there in case I need a little bit more to top it off. Plus I'm going to need a couple kettles of water to rinse it off afterwards to really get it leaned out. And here we go. I'm going to cut this bad boy down the center one more time. A little bit of fat on that guy. Load her back in here. Just hold on a second. I'm going to put these knives in the sink to wash after. Wash off my hands and clean off my cutting board. And yes, I make these cutting boards out in the wood shop. Quite a few of them over the years. Okay, quickly dry off. Now what we're going to do is pause the camera again, come back once that water's all boiled up, and then we'll talk about this a little bit more as we get it started. Hey folks, and I'm back. So we're going to pop that chicken out of the fridge, all cut up into nice tiny cubes. As you can see here, I've got my pot of water at a hard boil. Pop that lid off. And we're just going to load this chicken right in. A little bit of a stir. Set this aside for after, clean that up. And I'm just going to put the lid back on, let that come to a hard boil, turn it down a bit, let her cook up for a little while, and then we'll go on to the draining process. So I'll be back in a bit after that's all cooked up. Hey, and we're back. So I've got a stainless steel colander here. I got an extra pot. The reason I want the extra pot is that when I initially drain this, and that's ready to be drained now, turn that off, rather than put all that water right down in the sink, what we have in there is chicken broth. So I'm going to save that and use that in some soups. So pot first, stainless steel colander, I'm going to drain her off into that. Turn that fan off. Off the drain this chicken. Give you a little look at that. Very small cubes, we're going to put that in there. Set this aside. Our kettle has come to a boil. Now unplug that. And bring this over here for now. Pop the chicken out. Now, as I drained it with some extra boiling water, I'm not going to worry about adding that to the broth. I just want that initial batch of broth. Any more water is just going to dilute it. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. We're going to let that cool. That'll go into a couple of mason jars later, and I'll use that in a couple of soups here at home over the next couple of days. And I'm going to pour some water over this. There is not going to be much fat on this chicken, I can tell you that right now. I'm going to finish this process off by running some hot water over it and just stirring it up a little bit more, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm going to let that drain out of the colander, get some moisture out of it. That just dripping out. Want to let that drain out as much as I can before I start loading up the dehydrator trays. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. We'll start loading it up and we'll talk about the dehydrating process and about what I'm going to do with the chicken myself. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Let's start loading up this dehydrator. Not sure how many trays this is going to take, but we're about to find out now, aren't we? You want to spread them out so you don't have them all stacked up and touching each other too much, so just space them out a little. We've got lots of trays. I did a video the other day about this Salton VitaPro Dehydrator and some accessories I just got for it. We'd broken a tray a year or so ago, so replaced that with a new one. Quality control, it's important. Get on there. Probably going to use 4 trays. I've got 6, but I think 4 is going to be plenty. I actually should have done another pound or 2. But I still get more of these chicken breasts in the fridge. So when dehydrating meats and chicken, things like that, the temperature we want is 160 degrees Fahrenheit. I suppose vegetables and fruits, it's more like 125 to 135. That's a little higher temperature for meats and chicken. So we're going at 160. Fortunately, this dehydrator, the Salton VitaPro, does have temperature control. And it seems to be pretty accurate. Okay, we're getting close. How long does it take to dehydrate? It's a good question. I'm glad that you asked. It takes until it's done. There is no set time. Some people will tell you there's a set amount of time, but there's not. It varies depending on humidity in the air, for one thing. It varies depending on the size of the pieces in your dehydrator and how accurate the temperature settings are on your dehydrator. So there's a lot of variables. My guess is 8 to 12 hours. I got 4 trays loaded on here. Put the lid on it. What I'm going to do every couple of hours is come around, rotate the trays. Bottom tray goes up to the top, top tray goes to the bottom, that sort of thing. Nice even dehydration. Pardon me 1 second while I wash my hands. Yeah, I'm guessing 8 to 12 hours. I'll try and keep track of that, and we'll talk about that when I finish up the video after the chicken is fully dehydrated and we're packaging it up for future use. And I'll also talk about what I'm going to be doing with it as a finished product, and talk about shelf life, storage, things like that. So I'm going to turn this on, get her going, and I'll be back to finish this up and put the video together and get it out there for you people. Hey YouTube, so we're back. So yesterday we started dehydrating the boneless, skinless chicken breast, and they are done. Show you what they look like here. I tilted over too much and spilled them, but there gives you an idea. What I'm going to do now is get them into this bowl, and I'm going to weigh them again. Takes me a couple minutes to get them all in here, so it's throwing them all over the place. And you're not going to want to watch all that, or maybe you will. It's actually going pretty quick. So they are completely dry, crunchy, and ready for long-term storage. Got a couple of strays jumping away there, can't have that. Get these bad boys in the bowl. Get them in there with some friends. Bear with me a moment, almost done. Okay, the dehydrator's done. I'll set that aside, clean that up later. And you saw how full this bowl was yesterday of the chicken pre-cooked as well as cooked. And now take a look at that. That's all we have left. Oops, a couple more pieces there. Try to get away. Got a mason jar. First we want to weigh it and see what the difference is. We had 3.3 pounds, which is about 1.5 kilograms yesterday. And now we were down to just under 300 grams. Less than half a pound. Half a pound. Almost exactly half a pound. So from 3.3 pounds to a half a pound. I'm going to use the canning funnel and just get it into a mason jar here. That's done. Set that bad boy aside. Put a jar on this. I'm going to be doing up another batch, probably start it tomorrow. I want to get this filled right to the top and then put an oxygen absorber in it, and then I can set it aside for later. So for longer term storage, I put them into the freezer, probably the deep freeze. For shorter term storage, just leave them like this. I've had them on a shelf for months this way, but anything with fat in it, meat, I did some ground beef the other day, or a couple weeks ago I guess, did a video on that. Anything with any fat in it, to be extra safe, freeze it. Then nothing can go wrong. But what I made this batch for is to take with me on some canoeing or sea kayaking trips I've got coming up on Lake Superior. I'm going to be heading out for about 10 days at a time. And that's what this is for. I'll put it in the freezer until then, just to be safe. But for the sake of going out for a couple of weeks, just like that, I'll transfer it into a Ziploc bag. And this is going to be going into some of my meals, soups and sauces, a variety of things. I will be doing some videos soon on putting meals together, both of mainly dehydrated ingredients, so watch for that soon as well. That's about it. I think we covered everything for this one. Like I said, we cut the chicken into small cubes. We boiled it in hot water for several minutes, 15 minutes or so, drained it, rinsed it, repeated, rinsed it again, and then we got it onto the dehydrator. I think it was about 10 and a half, maybe 11 hours, a little bit longer than usual, but it's very hot and humid right now, so that's maybe a little bit extra time. Anyways, hit the like button, leave some good comments down below, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate that, and we'll be back with some more videos very soon. I got another one coming up possibly later today or tomorrow as well. Yesterday I did one on kayak rolling. For those of you that are interested in that, some of you are just here for the dehydrating videos, some are here for the kayak stuff, some are a little bit of both. I did a kayak rolling video that went up yesterday. That one's been going really well. And I did another pool session last night, and I'll have another video coming from that, either later today or tomorrow. And yeah, I had one more piece of video footage that was supposed to be in this video, but somehow it got deleted. So that's it for now. Talk to you later.